Spring is the peak wildfire season in the state. And so far, the DNR has responded to over 650 wildfires that have burned over 2,200 acres this year. Chances for sprinkles Friday night and into early Saturday won't be enough. More rain is expected near the end of next week.
Meanwhile, a vegetation fire near I-43 was slowed yesterday when a passerby sprayed water on the blaze before the Green Bay Metro Fire Department could arrive. The Republican Party of Brown County has asked the Brown County DA to launch a criminal investigation against
It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. A slight shower chance tonight, otherwise partly cloudy and a low within a degree or two of 50. Mostly sunny and pleasant tomorrow, highs upper 60s to near 70. And sun continues for Sunday, high mid 70s. Staying dry into early next week. It's 71 right now.
Matt and Air on Air.
Corrine Hendrickson, she owns a daycare center.
We're doing this day without childcare. What we do is we talk about what would happen, what would it look like if we didn't have childcare. But we also talk about what could it be? What can we do to change the system? I love all the protests. I love all the people speaking out against things. But we also need to participate in democracy by saying what we want and what we need and talk to our reps that way. So that's what this event is all about.
Catch Matt and Air on Air at its new time. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on Civic Media and the Civic Media app.
Imagine free to be yourself, surrounded by love that helps you grow. This is a place to call home. That's an American dream we all deserve. But in 50% of U.S. states, you could legally be denied housing if you are LGBTQ+. Get the facts and hear real stories at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Rational Revolution with Mark Becker.
We're talking Medicaid with expert Lynn Meschke, the threats, the cuts, and what does it all mean for you?
Rational Revolution with Mark Becker. Saturdays at 2, Sundays at 1. Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who likes to dine and dash, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Nite Lite. I was jotting down a memo and almost forgot I needed my microphone. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Friday, everybody. Great to have you here with us tonight as we head into the weekend, talking about the things we love more than anything to talk about. And yes, of course, I am talking about movies and TV and comedy and music. I got and we like sports too. Mike Clemens sent me a text yesterday. He said, Pete, I finally have a night off where there were no games. There were no Brewers, Bucks, whatever. And he said, I'm sitting at home and I'm watching The Studio.
Oh,
he said he absolutely loves it.
I love it too.
You know, I wonder if here's my issue. Like a lot of my friends who are in show business, who have been to big meetings and that kind of stuff, think it's not great. But the general public or someone who isn't in studio meetings seems to really like it. So I'm probably the halfway guy because I've been to those rooms, not for a while though. So I'd probably dig it. I'm probably going to check it out. You love it.
All right. First of all, Seth Rogen's great in that show.
See, he's
he's
have
hilarious.
Trouble watching him. I don't know what it is about him. Seth Rogen, Ben Affleck, there are certain guys I don't know what it is. Do you have people like that?
I mean, not really. There's not a show where I'll see the guy and be like, oh, I'm turning this off.
Well, I mean, I watch the movies, but I just don't get excited about it.
You know who? Okay, I'll say this. One person that makes me cringe every time I see him is Charlie Day.
Why?
Because he's so cringe and everything.
Meaning just because of what he says.
I mean, I feel like every role he's in is something cringeworthy too.
Yeah, I get that.
But you know, I think The Studio was fun, and but the show I've been watching is Your Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm.
Heard pretty good stuff about that.
That show's great.
Do you love it?
I'm. It sucks because you know it's week to week basis. You know, you have to wait.
I can't do that anymore. I can't do that.
And it ends this past week, which came out on Thursday. It ended on such a cliffhanger where I'm like, I have to wait another week to see what happens here. I can't wait. So I went to Reddit and I went on one of their subreddits which is just Your Friends and Neighbors subreddit, just to see the theories that everyone's thinking.
Oh, just to see theories?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say somebody like leaked out what happened or something.
No, I would definitely check that out. You know, I'm not crazy about everything John Hamm has done, but
he does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he does.
And he's good, but you're right. He takes stuff that, but we'll get into all that. Let's, I don't even know where to start. It is a gorgeous night here in Wisconsin, folks. So hope you're having a great day. And this will be a wonderful night. Still too early or early enough to take a walk when we get off the air here. So listen to Nightlight, get out and enjoy the fresh air. I've got Kung Pao shrimp waiting for me, buddy.
Oh, there you go.
Literally, this is one of those days where I was like, I'm intermittent fasting and I'm just, I'm literally I cannot wait to get in the car. And I'm just going to think about Kung Pao chicken the whole way. Kung Pao shrimp.
I have quesadillas. I'm happy about those.
Quesadillas are good too. Yeah.
Well, I meal prepped ground beef.
Look at you, man.
And then just, throw it on a shell. And what's easy is I actually make it in the oven.
Is that all you have on it is ground beef?
No cheese.
No, nothing else.
No, I got other stuff on there.
All
I
right.
got some good cheese and, everything.
I try to meal prep every week. I can't do it, but
it's hard to do it. It's hard to do it every week.
Yeah, I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch Dark Winds because I just started that show the other night. My sister was like, and I started it a couple years ago, actually, or maybe like a year ago, and I watched a couple episodes. And I liked it, but she said, trust me, it gets better. And I've seen a lot of hype about it lately. So I restarted it and I'm digging it. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat my Kung Pao chicken and I'm going to watch Dark Winds.
There you go.
Toby Emmerich is really good in it. And Rainn Wilson is in it.
Oh, wow.
He plays
really?
this crazy, funny character. Yeah.
He's great.
He is.
I mean, Dwight's a character you probably can't beat.
He's got to shake that Dwight thing. But he does. He's pretty good. I mean, he's a good actor.
Well, I mean, he does commercials still. That's like in Dwight.
That's true. I don't blame him for cashing in.
No, I mean,
you got to make a living.
I mean, what do you think? It's Michael number one and then Dwight?
That show's tough, honestly, Conrad, because, I love Dwight. Probably because he's got a big role. But every smaller character on the American Office,
yes.
I love Kelly Kapoor.
Yeah.
I love Creed. He's just so weird.
He is.
And maybe those two. And then I like Toby. He's such a sad sack.
What about
It's
Ryan?
tough.
You like Ryan?
He's funny at times when he's being like when he takes over the company for a while. That was kind of funny.
My favorite thing is when he has the goatee.
Yeah.
Michael has the goatee.
Right. Yeah, Michael's man crush on Ryan is hilarious. A lot of fun stuff happening tonight, folks. All right, Stuart Waddles is here. He's coming by at 6:35. Stuart J. Waddles, Civic Media's award-winning news director of our southeast Wisconsin area down there in Racine. Stuart does an amazing job. He is also tied into the showbiz world. I really like Stuart's takes on things. And tonight we're going to talk about a show called Bluey that he talked about last time he was here. And I've never seen it. But Stuart sent me a text today with like 10 episodes of Bluey. And he's like, hey, check these out if you can. Like, how am I supposed to watch 10 episodes? But he actually said, check out a few of these if you can. And they're short. They're like 7 or 8 minutes. So I watched a couple today. Just a lovely show. It makes me want to have kids again. I'm going to try to get my wife pregnant tonight when I get home. She might not like that.
Are you going for a Pete Jr.?
I didn't do the junior.
A PJ?
I'm a junior.
PJ Schwaba?
I'm a junior. So I didn't want to do the third.
Oh, come on.
That would have been weird.
That would be awesome.
I think to do a third, you have to be like loaded. You have to be like a billionaire.
You have to have a castle you're living in.
And I don't want to do that to my son. So we went with a different name. But I'm a junior, but I go by Pete, which is not my real name. That's my middle name. And it has wreaked havoc on my life. And I won't get into that now because it's just a nightmare, a paycheck, social security number nightmare. Anyway, Stuart is here. We're going to talk about Bluey. I'm going to commend him on his awards. We'll find some other stuff to talk about as well. And then at 7:35, ladies and gentlemen, it is a bar band Friday night. Our pal Terry Barr is here to bring new music, and I love the music she has tonight. Have you listened to it yet?
I have not.
Oh, it's awesome.
It is?
Yeah. It's excellent. So I'm excited to have Terry here as usual on a Friday night. It'll be fun. And Stuart at 6:35. So there you go. I think it's time, Conrad, for our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions?
This question.
Domanda. Question.
Question.
Questions.
Well, it's National Sleepover Day, folks. So who would you want to have a sleepover with? If you could pick anybody, who would you want to sleep over at your house, or whose house would you want to see? Who you want to have a sleepover with? This will be fun. Have some fun with this one, folks. Let us know. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Or you could text us your suggestion or your sleepover pal over the app. Very easy to use. Just click on any one of the stations and go to the little text icon and fire away. It's a absolute dream to use. And if you're watching on the stream, you can let us know there too. If you're watching on X or Facebook or YouTube, the WGBW website, the WISS website. We're on other websites too, I think now we're starting to get on since we're statewide. We're getting up there, but we'll get it up to speed. But you have a lot of options on how to stream the show. Let us know. You can weigh in there. Let us know who you want to have a sleepover with. Before we move on, I have to get on. There was a text overnight. Our question last night was, who is your favorite movie or TV detective? I would say Columbo. Crushed.
I
gotta check out the show. I haven't really watched it.
It definitely won.
Easily. And Rhonda from Madison was listening between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. and she said Columbo and Matlock. So there you go. I didn't hear many Matlocks yesterday.
I think I heard it once.
Really?
But I think that's twice. But
I remember Lil Irv saying Bosch, and that like made me like, oh, fellow Bosch fan. All right. But Columbo, I would say hands down, took home the prize.
So you texted me last night saying, please remind me to talk about Bravo show, The Valley. I'm curious about this.
All right. I haven't seen it. All I saw was a trailer. And the trailer was so bad. I'm encouraging everybody now to go watch the trailer for The Valley. It's on Bravo. The characters are weird. I don't even know. I didn't even look it up today or anything. I got focused on other stuff. But it's already had one season. And it says the description is some of the Vanderpump Rules most notorious live it up in the Valley.
I'm gonna be honest. That sounds awesome.
It sounds worse, Conrad, than MILF Manor. But the trailers, it's just a bad trailer. Like, how do you make a bad trailer?
Yeah, you got to highlight everything that was like really good in it to draw people in.
Yeah, it only gets like a 5 on IMDb out of 10. But no, honest to God, the trailer, if you can't make a good trailer, you at least have to be able to dupe people into watching your garbage show. But they can't even do that. Like it made me laugh. I'm like, oh my God, I would never watch that show. So anyway, I want people to go check out the trailer so that everybody at Bravo goes, oh my God, people can't get enough of it. And then nobody watches the show because the trailer's so bad.
If you go on YouTube, you can hit that dislike button.
That's true, but not for us. If you go on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter X, give us a like or a follow, folks.
Yeah.
We'd love to get likes and follows. We're trying to get them up there a little bit just to show that people are listening to the show, as we know you are. You know, our numbers are up. Did you know that? People are finding the show.
That's great.
I think so, too. I mean, duh. Like, what else are we doing? I hope nobody finds the show. I don't want anybody to listen. I get too self-conscious. Stuart and I will talk about some of the Pope memes we've seen. Great stuff.
Yeah, the Chicago Bears one.
I've seen several of those already. I can't even keep track of them. There's so many.
I'm really excited to see this year's draft class this year, and one of the receivers for the Bears, Burden, they asked him, "Why'd you pick 87?" And he's just like, "All the good numbers are gone."
He's got an attitude, that guy, man. I hope he explodes on the field because he just is not. He's not a charmer,
He's a great receiver. I think if we didn't pick Matthew Golden, I think we would have, picked. I believe his name's Luther
Burden. Yeah, everybody said he was going to go high in the first top half of the first round.
Originally, I mean, the start of the season in college, like he had a great overall college career.
But he had a great junior year, or whatever last year was for him, and then this year there was no quarterback or something. But apparently after the catch,
not that great.
He's phenomenal. So we'll see what happens. But who do you want to have a sleepover with, folks? That's our question of the night. We will read your texts after we do a very short break. I am fasting today. I mentioned that I'm doing intermittent fasting, but I took a walk. If you swallow like 40 mayflies, does that break a fast? I need to know that, because otherwise,
did you look the calories up?
I'm going to scrap it. No, I didn't. Let's do that. Let's Google that over the break.
Okay.
We're going to talk about a fun new theme park. Maybe it's just weird. I don't know. And we'll read your texts. Talking the Pope, talking Bluey, Bar Band Friday night. Lots going on here tonight. Great to have you with me. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio
Dear, I'm starving, and it breaks my heart. When a teardrop falls, I wanna cry alone.
From Ashwaubenon to Alloway, this is 97.9 WGBW.
UW-Madison is one of the country's leading hubs for supporting life-changing research and building a skilled workforce. An investment in UW-Madison helps make a healthier Wisconsin, build strong businesses, and win the war for workforce talent, not just at Madison, but across our entire state. Visit uwalumni.com/UW9 to tell your legislators to support UW-Madison in Wisconsin state budget. That's uwalumni.com/UW9. Paid for by the Wisconsin Alumni Association.
No more mold, no more damage, no more slipping and hurting. Make your ordinary bathroom extraordinary for only $99 per month. New shower, new door, new tub, new wall, new anti-slip technology. BCI Bath and Shower is made in America for the highest quality. First 50 callers save $1,500 on a never clear glass treated door. BCI Bath and Shower. Interest-free financing options. 800-329-4115. 800-329-4115. 800-329-4115.
Hey, it's Amanda with another another new Wisco 411 for you, brought to you by Area 509 in Appleton. And the Downtown De Pere Foodie Walk is almost here. You can join in for a fun culinary tasting event, which will feature signature food items and select beverage pairings from downtown eateries in De Pere. So on Saturday, May 10th, from 1 till 5 p.m., you could find yourself at the Abbey Bar eating some mac and cheese paired with a featured beer of the month. It's only $25 a ticket. Head to WGBW.FM and click events to get yours.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Wisconsin. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
Lite with Schwaba here on the Civic Media Radio Network. The kid Conrad Krieger riding shotgun. I'm kind of excited to hear what Stuart knows about the Pope. I don't know that much, but one of the memes I saw I really liked was the Pope in a they had like Chicago style toppings, and he's like had his arms open and there was like a bun around him and it says Chicago style Pope. There's been so many, like you just can't even keep up. And I didn't realize he was the first Pope from America.
Yeah,
much less the Midwest or Chicago.
I didn't think that we would see the American Pope this fast, but
yeah,
pretty cool.
Oh, you don't care. You're not Catholic, right?
You know, so he's from Villanova. That's where he went to school.
That's where I went to school. Yeah,
and they asked Tom Thibodeau, who's the coach for the Knicks.
Sure, yeah.
And they said, well, maybe because Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges, they're all from Villanova. They're on the team that won the championship.
Yeah.
And they asked him, so how do you feel about the new Pope being from Villanova? And he's like, I think they'll forgive my players for all their sins.
Okay.
I was like, what? And
they were totally using that over Boston College too. That's their big rival. They're like, well, we had a Pope before Boston College did. I'm like, it's kind of a weird contest. We have our question of the night, folks, is it's National Sleepover Day. Who do you want to have a sleepover with? All right. I didn't answer. So I'm going to say I went kind of, I almost said bisexual. I didn't mean that. I meant like co-ed.
Yeah.
So I've got two. Rebecca Ferguson would love to have a sleepover. See, I think the problem is a lot of people are answering like with people they have crushes with. So we're into a borderline creepy area where it's like, so we might as well just go with that. But I've also put down like a platonic, like just a dude I think it'd be fun to hang out with. So I've got Rebecca Ferguson, who's in the Mission Impossible. She's a great actor, very beautiful. Julia Ormond. And then for a guy who I just think it'd be fun to hang out with, Steve Zahn. How fun would Steve Zahn be?
Steve Zahn would be hilarious.
Because when we were kids, when we used to do sleepovers, like right when I moved to Wisconsin, there was my friend Rick. He was the only kid on the block that had HBO. So we would pick a night where there was an R-rated movie or two, and like 3 or 4 of us would sleep at Rick's house. And at some point, we just started walking the neighborhood at like 3 o'clock in the morning in a small town. It was Marinette. But we would wait for a car to come, and we would start acting like we were beating the crap out of each other to see if a car would stop. Honest to God.
That's
and
terrible.
one time, and nobody did. They're like, "It's kids beating the crap out of each other. Who cares?" And we were like middle school. But one night a cop stopped, and we ran from the cops. And the cops thought it was a real fight. So they were looking for us. And we realized the most fun you can have in life is when the police are chasing you. And you didn't really do anything wrong, right?
Yeah,
so I feel like Steve Zahn would be that guy. Like he'd be up to no good with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you?
I think you can guess for the girl.
Kate McKinnon?
That would be awesome. Like spending the whole night. Say come over at 6. You have dinner with her, and then you just
You're making like this a romantic.
No, it's not romantic. It's totally platonic. All right.
Okay.
But it would be hilarious.
Oh, I think you bring Steve Zahn and Kate McKinnon to a sleepover. You're
gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh the whole night.
Absolutely. That's a good one.
And then I think for a guy, I'd probably go. I'd go Michael Jordan.
Really?
So I could smoke a cigar with him.
Oh, that would be nice.
And have a scotch.
God, I didn't even think about going the pro. See, like if Walter Payton were still alive, I don't know. They're also professional athletes. They could just start wailing on you. Like, think about it. It's a sleepover. You beat each other up. You run around the block. You go out and play ding dong ditch. I don't know what.
I would say, Michael, you're pretty old now. All right. I'm going to beat you in one-on-one.
Sure. Michael Jordan could beat you at basketball if he was 75
on one leg.
Really? I mean, honestly, he just would. It's not even a knock on you. It's just like, you'd have to be like at least a college athlete to probably beat him right now.
I mean, me jumping, like full jump shot.
Yeah.
He would block it, not jumping.
Right. Right. You wouldn't even have to leave his feet. And you'd be like, how much air do you think you could get?
No, I could dunk. In high school, I could I could touch the bottom of the net.
Okay. Well, in high school, I could jump. I was pretty good, but I couldn't dribble.
I've stayed the same height for a long time.
What are you? What is your height? You're like 6'5", 6'1"?
I'm 6'5". No hops though.
Oh, you don't need them if you're 6'5".
And I'm like 5'8.5".
Are you really?
Got to put that a half in there.
I can't figure out what people's heights are. All right, we're going to read people's texts. We'll get to that in a little while. We got some great texts on the social media. Daniel said, "Jesus Christ."
That would be a good sleepover.
I would love to sit and talk with him. I don't know if that's a great sleepover though. You think?
Well,
Jesus
he'd be
Christ
watching.
would watch rated R skin flicks.
No,
I don't want to do that with Jesus. I think that would be weird. But Daniel's offbeat. He's a guy that would make that fun somehow, I'm sure. So we'll read more of those after we talk to our pal Stuart Waddles. Lots going on here tonight. Stuart and I are going to talk about Bluey. We're going to talk about the Pope. I'm going to find out what he's watching as an adult, not just with his kids, but what he's watching as an award-winning news director, which is what Stuart is in Southeast Wisconsin here for Civic Media. That's coming up next. And then it is a bar band Friday night, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you with me on this beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous night in Wisconsin. Listen to the radio, then go out and run around, splash around, be outside. But right now, listen to the radio. Let's have fun. Text me your answer. Who do you want to have a sleepover with? You can go weird and pick someone of the opposite sex, or just a buddy or a dude or a girlfriend or something. Let me know. It's Pete Schwaba. It's Nite Lite. It's the Civic Media Radio Network.
I found myself phoning her at least 10 times a day. It's so unusual for me to carry on this way. I tell you, I can't sleep at night.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW. Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The new head of the Catholic Church has a Wisconsin connection. Stuart J. Waddles has more.
The newly elected Pope Leo XIV, originally from Chicago, spent part of his religious career teaching in Oconomowoc. The man formerly known as Father Bob taught briefly at the Augustinian Novitiate. Cardinal Robert Prevost is the first American to lead the Catholic Church and belongs to the Augustinian Order, which has active ministries in Milwaukee.
A coalition of attorneys general, including Wisconsin's, are celebrating a short-term win. A judge has issued a temporary injunction in one of the many lawsuits against the Trump administration. This one is over the administration essentially dismantling the Institute of Museum and Library Services, the Minority Business Development Agency, and the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service. A judge has ruled that dismantling violates the Administrative Procedure Act, and the administration must stop those actions immediately. Attorney General Josh Kaul is just one of 20 attorneys general across the country acting as plaintiff in that lawsuit. The site of a beloved decades-long Wisconsin Dells attraction has been sold. Melissa Kay tells us more.
The property that was home to the Tommy Bartlett Water Ski Show and the Tommy Bartlett Exploratory has been purchased by Ripley's Believe It or Not World Entertainment. The sale, announced Monday, comes 5 years after the Bartlett venue closed in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The owners of the shuttered property searched for a buyer who would maintain the space as a tourism and entertainment spot. The new owners plan to keep the site open as a year-round attraction.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Just days after the president announced 100% tariffs on foreign films, there is serious pushback. According to Variety, the proposal is on shaky legal ground as the president has been using the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977, which gives him power to regulate trade in times of national emergency. But a Georgetown law professor says a 1994 amendment says the president can't stop the flow of audiovisual media. Since announcing the executive order, the White House said nothing official has been decided. Maybe Trump will forget about tariffs altogether after his failed run at the papacy. Keeping it papal, we have a new pope. But fun fact, according to the Hollywood Reporter, cardinals in Rome watched the movie Conclave as a research tool to help them in selecting the new pontiff. Politico reports that many cardinals called the film remarkably accurate. Coincidentally, the new pope's last name is not Fines, Lithgow, or Tucci. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This report sponsored by the City of Marinette, home of the Queen Marinette Run the River Powerboat Races, June 7th and 8th. More details at fishonmarinette.com.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. A slight shower chance tonight, otherwise partly cloudy and a low within a degree or two of 50. Mostly sunny and pleasant tomorrow, highs upper 60s to near 70. And sun continues for Sunday, high mid 70s. Staying dry into early next week. It's 71 right now.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action.
Hey, Stuart, I just want to test your audio quick before we go on. Stuart, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here, but it's a little choppy on my end. I was just going to say, send me the phone number, I guess, is a bad.
I your phone number.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I'll just call you because I think it's a little choppy. So I'm going to give you a ring.
And so I want to thank you for that.
Mino and the Mayor, weekday mornings 6 till 9 on 97.9 WGBW and 98.3 and 96.5 WISS and the Civic Media app.
Burgers, barbecues, whatever you want, it's all on the table. I'm Lisa Hale.
Happy Mother's Day. I'm Terry Barr. How it all ties together on the next New Wisco Weekend.
Saturday morning at 8.
We will never be the same. The more you change, the less you feel. Believe.
Welcome back. This is Nightlight. I am Pete Schwaba. Our question of the night, given that it is National Sleepover Day, is who do you want to have a sleepover with? It's that simple, folks. Let us know who you want to have sleepover at your house. And let's have some fun with that one. We've got some great answers already. We will read your text in just a little while. Stuart J. Waddles will join us in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about a really cool kids show that I have not seen until today. Stuart was on the show, I would say probably 3 months ago or so, and told me about the show Bluey. We'll discuss that with Stuart. We'll talk a little bit about the Pope with Stuart J. Waddles, and I'm going to commend him on his many awards, too, from the WBAs, which took place last weekend. This is really weird, folks. Nate Bargatze is a humongous comedian right now in terms of popularity. He's lost a lot of weight, actually, but his popularity is through the roof. And he's got movies in development, TV shows, podcasts, music. The guy has got his hand in everything. He's a really good stand-up comedian, but Walt Disney is like his idol, and he wants to make a theme park in Nashville and call it Nate Land. That's really weird, I think.
It doesn't have the same ring to it.
It sounds terrible. And what a dumb, what's he going to have there? I guess rides and stuff. He's a bright guy, and he's really funny. But come on. I mean, Disney World, Disneyland, Nate Land, I guess that's a tip of his hat to Walt Disney, but that's really weird. I'd be scared to go there.
He's got to produce some movies, and then you can have like certain
characters,
exhibits and stuff like it. It'll just be kind of, I don't know, vague that there,
Itchy and Scratchy Land or something like that.
There you go.
I thought that was really strange, and it kind of, in a weird way, and I can say this, he's not listening, and I'm pretty sure I could take him, but he kind of knocked him down just a half a peg because I think he's so funny.
He is hilarious. I'm just confused why he would want an open amusement park. That sounds exhausting.
This sounds like a question for our first guest of the night. Let's figure out, because Stuart has got his hand in he's a phenomenal news guy, award-winning. He's a good guy. He's tapped into kids shows, adult shows, movies. He knows just about everything. And it is my pleasure to welcome my friend Stuart J. Waddles back to Nightlight. Hey, buddy.
Geez, that was a delight. Keep it going. Let's keep that rolling.
I forgot the other half, to be honest with you. I had a lot more.
That was nice.
It was like when they got the 15 commandments in History of the World and half of them broke. That's what this intro was like.
But this Bargatze guy, what's his deal anyway? He's the guy that from Saturday Night Live, and we'll call it this, right? That's his deal?
I haven't.
I know he's a bigger comedian, but generally known to the public.
Yeah, no, and he's great. He is a great comedian. And he's earned his stripes, gotten his chops, whatever you want to say, paid his dues. And he sold like over 1 million tickets last year. He's a great comedian, but he's doing movies now on TV, and we'll see if any of those are any good. It's easier said than done to actually execute them. But the theme park, that was like,
yeah, well, he's no Dolly Parton.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
When Dolly's in her 80s now.
Yeah, he could buy Dollywood.
I was just gonna say that's kind of dark, but he could take that over. I don't know. We'll figure out. We'll keep talking about this. So,
all right.
Listen, I appreciate you being on the show tonight. Because you're like this award-winning, incredibly popular news director there in Southeast Wisconsin for Civic Media. I think this is the second year in a row you took home a couple awards. So I'm surprised you're still talking to me, and I'm grateful to have you on the show.
I'll always find time for people like you. No, thanks for having me on. I do appreciate it, and it's awesome to be a part of the Civic Media team and being able to win the awards. So it's great.
Yeah, and let's talk about that because it's a pretty big deal. I mean, you took first place in. This did confuse me though. I will say, Stuart. You took first place in Major Market Best Newscast, and you took third place in Media Market Best Newscast.
Oh, tell me about it. You'd think ergo sum ipso facto. Yeah, you'd think, but that's not the way it worked.
How does that even happen?
I don't know. The whole categorization I find convoluted, and I never really understood. And I've always kind of relied on somebody who knows a little bit more about it than me to say, "Hey, give us this and give us that and give us this."
Yeah.
And I try and figure out like what station is this? Where do I land in all of this? But yeah, we submit and things happen.
First of all, let me just say congratulations because I've been in awe of you since I've known you. You got great pipes. I love your delivery of the news. You write the news well, and you're just everything you do here at Civic Media is outstanding. So congrats for that, and well deserved, buddy. But
Thank you.
You're right. What you just said, how you broke that down, it's like saying you're number one in New York, but you took third in Omaha.
Yeah, you're not so good in Poughkeepsie. Yeah. Yeah, it's but it's again, it's how it's classified. There's music stations, and I think a lot of it depends on how many other submissions there were.
Okay.
What I noticed in our major market win is that TMJ put in 2 at least 2 entries. I just put in 1. So they won second and third place, but we got the first place in that major market.
Nicely done, buddy. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. I'm proud to know you. I was saying last night on the show, I did not get nominated, but they gave me a bowling trophy, so I don't know what to make of that.
You didn't get nominated?
For what?
Jeez, I don't know. You got a fine quality entertainment program here. People are liking it, and you're spreading some joy. Doing something different with radio.
And I'm not making excuses. I don't know if they know what to do with it. I don't know if there's an entertainment show on the radio anywhere. So like, what do we do with this?
Well, maybe you and Lou Regani can clean up some sort of category.
Oh, I'd love to square off against Lou. He beat me in an arm wrestle about a year ago, and I think it's time for payback.
Yeah, well, I put some money on him, so he came through for me.
He is a great guy. I love Lou's show. So let's talk about the Pope, and then we'll get into some kids' TV show. You turned me on to this show, Bluey. I love it. But let's get the Pope stuff out of the way. You think you might have been at a baseball game with the Pope, Stuart?
So I saw the picture. A lot of people probably saw the picture. I think it was in the Sun-Times. They found a picture of the Pope at Game 1 of the World Series at Comiskey Park. I'm not sure if it was Comiskey at that time, but it's always Comiskey to me, darn it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it stands to reason to me that if he was at Game 1 of the World Series in Chicago, he was probably at, like, the ALCS. I was at Game 1 of the ALCS at Comiskey that year. So I'm thinking maybe, possibly, I high-fived the Pope after a Paul Konerko blooper to right. That's the possibility.
You just showed up to watch a game and inadvertently got a little bit of Hosanna there. I think that's really
well.
Cool.
Again, this is a lot of jumping to conclusions here, but I'm going to take it. Darn it,
I would too. Leo the 14th, love it. He seems like a great 69. Like I've heard some people refer to him as the young Pope. I mean, if you're 69 and people are calling you kid, you know you're in a seriously like elderly profession there.
Well, is he actually from Chicago, or is he from like a suburb 45 minutes away? Like most people say they're from Chicago.
That's, you know what?
Is he from Winnetka or Bolingbrook?
Right. And that used to bother me because I did live in this, like I grew up in the city until I was 12 when we moved to Wisconsin. So I went back there to college and people were like, well, I'm from Chicago too. And they would tease me about being from Wisconsin. I'm like, so where are you from in Chicago? And they go, Schaumburg. I'm like, all right, that's not Chicago. Like that was always my comeback when they would rip Wisconsin. I'd be like, shut up. So
yeah, well, it kind of depends on who you're talking to. I mean, if you're talking to somebody like internationally, it's a lot easier to say I'm from near Chicago, because that's what I say. I mean, I'm technically in Kenosha here. We're part of the Chicago media market.
Hey, listen,
according to the FCC,
I think Kenosha is going to boom. Have we talked about this?
Yeah, I think briefly, but yeah, go ahead.
Your property values, Stuart, are going to go through the roof, literally, because they say Michigan, everybody's going to go there in 20 years. It'll be, with the climate change and all that. We're on the same lake. I mean, Wisconsin's going to boom too. And you guys, Racine and Kenosha are right on the lake. It's gorgeous lakefront.
Well, and you know this, I think, traveling back and forth along I-94, once you hit the state line into Illinois, almost every single exit is Illinois State Preserves or it's some sort of state park.
Yeah.
The exiting is awful for semi-traffic. So Kenosha and Racine have realized, well, let's make some cool exits. Let's give some people some land along the interstate. And it's kind of boomed from there. And again, I mean, that down 94 while you're going 90 miles an hour to Chicago, that's all like preserve land. So you can't develop on it. So building something interstate adjacent just can't happen. That's
fantastic. Yeah, that's a great point. So, yeah, I love that. So we were joking around earlier today, and this got me thinking, too, that the Pope, you said I know about as much about the Pope as I do the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
And I made a joke that he rode a horse in the Kentucky Derby. But there was a comedian named Max Alexander that said he saw the Pope in Madison Square Garden when he was younger. And he said, and it was incredible. He said the lights were off in the arena. And I'm going to tell you, folks, when the Pope came skating out on that ice, there was not a guy in the house. So
that's good stuff. I hope you'd think Saturday Night Live would hop on this, right? Having somebody play the Pope or bring back the super fans, something.
Right. Yeah, there'll definitely be a tie-in. But apparently he likes deep dish pizza, or I thought I read that. But I said that to Conrad, my favorite meme I've seen so far is him in a Chicago hot dog bun with the works and his arms spread out and says Chicago-style Pope.
I saw that one, yeah.
And then did you see the one where there's a picture of the Vatican and then a sign for Portillo's behind it? Like he's going to Put a Portillo's.
Oh, and
over
I
it.
think Portillo's has launched a sandwich. I think they specifically have a new sandwich called the Pope. I liked all the Bears memes. Those seem to be right out of the gate. Like the Chicago's got a Pope before they got a 4,000-yard passer.
Exactly. And you know what would kill Chicago's buzz is if the Pope came out and said, I'm from Chicago. I love it, but I'm a Packer fan. They would lose their minds.
He's never won a game in Green Bay yet.
Right. I wouldn't hold your breath. And the best one I've seen, though, before we move on, is Popeyes. Just broke the word down into Pope Yes. I think it was something like that. Homemade.
Clever marketing.
Yeah, exactly. So before we get to this awesome show, Bluey, that you turned me on to, Stuart, do you have someone you would want to have a sleepover with?
Yeah, I'm going to take care of tonight's question and yesterday's question all in one.
I was going to ask you both.
Jessica Fletcher.
Who's that?
How about Jessica Fletcher? Well, Angela Lansbury.
Okay.
That's the sleepover and detective.
Are you hoping something happens on the sleepover? It
was more the joke. I was trying to tie in last night. I've been listening to the program, Pete. I know what's going on in your show. I'm trying to engage and be a part of things.
Oh, all I think about, if you're, I don't know. That's great. That actually it could be a really good script because you bring in this and you have like kids have to solve a murder, but and maybe play a little spin the bottle with Jessica.
Oh, come on now. Coming up after the game, Murder, She Wrote.
Do you have someone?
I guess thinking about Saturday Night Live, and it's just kind of let me go back here.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird question, Pete.
Okay.
Did you come up with this, or did Connie come up with this?
Conrad comes up. I usually come up with a question, but Conrad throws one in there once in a while. But go
Was
ahead.
this one,
Listen, tear
was
it
this
down.
One yours?
This one was mine. Yeah, it's National
Okay.
Sleepover Day. It was a no-brainer.
You think so?
I think
Kind
I
of
had
weird.
Conrad's.
Kids don't do sleepovers anymore, right? It's not a thing.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's a dying breed. The whole sleepover. I think it's a major lack of trust is what it boils down to, and maybe rightfully so.
Yeah, I didn't like them I did them as a kid, but earlier in the show, I was like, we were out roaming the neighborhood at 3 a.m. I didn't want my kids to have sleepovers. They did occasionally, but I always needed to know more about where they were going. Let's pick up here. We got to do a very quick break, Stuart. It's great to have you here. Stuart J. Waddles is here. He is the news director for Civic Media here in Southeast Wisconsin, the award-winning news director, and he's here. We're going to talk about Bluey when we come back. Let us know who you'd like to have a sleepover with, folks, and we will read your text on the radio. We're that kind of guy. Pete Schwaba and Nightlight. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Reach, engage, grow with Civic Media. Log on civicmedia.us/advertise.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Located on the Menominee River, you'll be seated up close so you can witness all of the high adrenaline drama. The races are free and perfect for the entire family. Racing will be fierce with up to 100 powerboats and 18 heats a day. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the entire day. It's Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races, June 7th and 8th. Free for the whole family. You won't want to miss this awesome event. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page or contact the Marinette Welcome Center at 715-732-4333.
Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley for over 30 years and are proud sponsors of Mino and the Mayor's Eye on the Community. Insight offers comprehensive eye care, including glasses and contact lenses. Their doctors have a special interest in treating chronic eye disease, specialty contact lenses, and pediatric care. Find Insight on Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton. Visit WIinsight.com to schedule your eye exam. Improving lives by improving sight. Insight Eye Care.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. In August 2024, a jury convicted Mesa County, Colorado election official Tina Peters for tampering with her county's voting machines in 2020 and allowing election deniers access to them. Disregarding the breach of election integrity, President Donald Trump is now trying to set her free. Peters was found guilty on 4 felony charges and additional misdemeanors by 12 Mesa County jurors for giving unauthorized access to the county's Dominion voting systems tabulators to 2 conspiracy theory activists. Those activists were associated with MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell, and election data later turned up online. While President Trump has long talked about preserving election integrity, in March he ordered the U.S. Department of Justice to investigate the Peters prosecution, which said in a court filing it was investigating abuses of the criminal justice process. Then May 5th, Trump posted on Truth Social, "Colorado must end this unjust incarceration of an innocent American. I am hereby directing the Department of Justice to help secure the release of this hostage being held in a Colorado prison by Democrats for political reasons," unquote. Because Peters was convicted in state court, Trump has no power to pardon her, but could appeal in federal court or withhold federal funding to the state. Election integrity, indeed. We've linked to more at AmericanDemocracyMinute.org. I'm Brian Beal.
Rebuilding and
This is Nite, and it's great to have you here, folks. Trying to send you into your weekend with a few laughs, some good TV talk. We're talking the Pope. We're talking about all the hardware Stuart J. Waddles brought back from the WBAs last weekend. Very impressive. Our award-winning news director in Southeast Wisconsin here at Civic Media. He is with us on the phone right now. We had a couple technical gaffes, would you say, Stuart? Which surprised me, you being a newsman.
Something on Paramount. I know Paramount uses a little more data than the others, but I thought I had a fast connection. I guess I don't have as fast as I thought I did.
Well, your voice sounds tops on the phone, too, so you can't go wrong either way.
Hey, thanks, bud.
We were talking about sleepovers, and do you do them with your kids? Because I said that I was a little tentative. I wanted to know, where my kids were going. You know what I mean?
And again, I think in general, like just my knowledge of other parents, it doesn't happen a lot anymore. I'm sure it does happen some places, but not in our house, and it probably won't happen in our house. I read a lot of criminal complaints, police reports.
Oh, right.
And and a lot of things that happen, it doesn't always happen, but I read about things that they're at a sleepover at a friend's house, and not doing that.
Yeah. And I remember when we first moved here, what my kids were, I think they did a couple when we lived out west, but here it was or at least maybe these few parents was just like, oh yeah, come on over. It was nothing. There was no recon or anything done. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even know you guys,
Yeah, and it's strange because you think about these days, there's so much more recon to be done about other parents and other people back when yous and me's are growing up. I mean,
right.
Yeah, I don't know the kid's parent. I guess I'll talk to him for a couple of minutes on the phone, but yeah, go ahead, spend 12 hours over there. Bunch of people coming in and out that I don't know.
Right. He seemed fine.
Yeah.
PJ on the stream says, yes, Stuart is correct. I don't do sleepovers either. I enjoy living alone with my cat. Well, that's a sleepover. You can still have fun like that. All right. So let's get to, you mentioned last time you were on the show, this show Bluey on
I've
Disney.
been talking about it since I think my first appearance on the show. It's such a great program.
You sent me some links. I didn't get through all of them, but I watched an episode called, I don't know if it was called Floss, but it was about flossing, and it was the most adorable thing I've ever seen. And then I think I watched another one you sent called Sleepy Time. What is it about the show? I know why I love it, and I almost wish my kids were still young because it's such a good show, but what is it about the show you're such a fan of?
The writing of it, it's a sweet show. The color palette, it's just a beautiful show. Visually, it's very well done. It's a fun show that the parents can watch it, kids can watch it. Did you tear up during Sleepy Time?
I did.
Because that thing, the thing about those cartoons we watched when we were kids, they worked on multiple levels. Parents liked it, kids liked it.
Yeah.
A lot of the Pixar movies, kids like it, parents like it, and this just threads that needle. This is exactly, kids like it, parents like it. They find it entertaining, and the parents can too. And that Sleepy Time episode, it gets emotional. Like, that's not the only one that'll start doing a tearjerker. If you really want it to start welling up, go to like the final episodes of the most recent season where they're teasing moving, and there's a whole storyline about that and how the kids are dealing with it, and it's
oh wow,
good.
Yeah,
real good. I'm even thinking about it. It's just a well done program. It's out of Australia, and it's part of Disney in America, but it's got different distributors across the country. But I think Disney owns like the American rights, so I'm sure that's going to be popping up at Disneyland, Disney World. It's one of the biggest things going.
It's so great because I love, and you're right about Sleepy Time. Like, it's these two kids that can't sleep and they're in bed with their parents, and they're seeing planets. And they're out in space, and you see him, like, I think in one scene, the kid, it's either Bingo or actually Bluey, hitting Jupiter, and then they come into the scene and he's hitting his dad's face.
Yeah, and it's the mom saying, "Go ahead, you're going to be fine without me," but she's actually the son in the dream. It gets pretty deep, and it gets very emotional.
That was very sweet. And I'll tell you what, when you have grown kids and you look back on this stuff, and my kids aren't totally grown, like my daughter's early in college and my son is out of college, but like when she's saying those things to the child, I'm watching this going, I would give anything to go back and just be in that stage again where they looked up to you and you just made their whole world safe. You're absolutely right. It is an absolutely gorgeous show.
Well, and the dad, he sets a high bar. I mean, there's one of the complaints online is that this guy, he plays too hard. He's playing all the time. He's making me look bad. I just want to sit down for a minute, and Bandit's out there nonstop playing games.
Are you that kind of dad? Like, you're pretty busy, I'm sure. But when I asked you to be on the show tonight, you said, well, this Friday will work, but it's usually our movie night. What's that night like in the Waddle?
They pick a lot of duds. The kids get to pick some. They're like in the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie and the Squeakquel, and they're all right. I don't mind Jason Lee, but it gets a little tedious at times. The Sonic movies aren't so bad. They like the Sonic movies. They're inside watching that one right now.
I've heard that's a really good one. I would love to play a clip from Bluey. Can you hang with us through the news? We keep you for just a few minutes after the news.
Certainly.
Okay? All right. So I've got a clip from did you see the Floss episode?
Oh yeah. I've seen them all probably 5 or 6 times.
All right. So the energy of that one, I love too. And I just found it was like, you could find, if you go to YouTube, folks, if you have young kids, or if you just want to watch Bluey, there is nothing wrong with that because it is a great show. But they have these blocks on YouTube where there's like 3 episodes. So after we do the news, we'll come back and we'll hear a little clip from Bluey. I got one from the Floss episode. And what else did we clip, Con?
The Good On Ya.
Oh, the Good On Ya. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is they have these great Australian accents.
Oh, and the voices are so good. They're just the voices are crisp. There's a well delivered lines. It's so good.
Is it one of those situations where you hope the kids pick Bluey, but then sometimes they pick something else that's like can't even hold a can, like Caillou or something like that?
Well, there's a lot of arguments, and there's times where it's just, we're just putting Bluey on. Sit down.
Don't argue with your award-winning father, damn it. Stuart J. Waddles is here. We're going to keep Stuart for just a few minutes after intermission here, and Civic Media's award-winning news team keeps you informed. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight. It is a bar band Friday night, folks. Terry Barr will be here at 7:35. I mean, Bluey and Bar Band Friday? Get out of here. We're coming right back. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. The Trump administration considering suspending habeas corpus for undocumented immigrants, denying them their day in court. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller.
The Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the supreme law of the land, that the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at.
A federal judge ordering the release of a Tufts University student from Turkey. Trump administration officials say Ramisa Öztürk lost her right to remain in the U.S. when she co-wrote an op-ed in her student newspaper urging Tufts to divest from firms with ties to Israel. Her jailing an egregious First Amendment violation, says the judge. Trade talks begin tomorrow in Geneva between the U.S. and China. The president's 145% tariffs on China have not as yet been met with any concessions. Another Newark airport radar outage today. Controller screens went dark while talking to a FedEx flight. The FAA says they're looking into it. This is ABC News.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Becoming a mother isn't always easy, physically or emotionally. Dr. Kristen Lyerly says having access to healthcare during pregnancy is important, but so is access to healthcare in the postpartum days.
This is the number one reason why women die, by the way, in the postpartum period, because they have untreated depression and anxiety, mental health issues that they can't get access to care for. And in Wisconsin, we deny many women access to care. We take away their health insurance at 2 months postpartum.
Hear more on the physical and emotional effects of motherhood in the Mother's Day issue of New Wisco Weekend. And check out the Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show weekends on all Civic Media radio stations. It's a busy time for farmers, but one state representative says they need to speak up now. Joanne Krulatz reports.
Farmers need to make their voices heard on agricultural equipment, lemon law legislation. That from the state representative and farmer Travis Tranel of Cuba City after no one testified on the bill during a public hearing at the Capitol this week.
Your voice matters and you need to be part of the process. And so if things like right to repair are important to you, which I think to most farmers they are, you need to show up. You need to let legislators and people that sit on these committees know, and you need to let farm organizations that are supposed to be representing the voice of farmers know that these things matter.
Tranel is the author of Assembly Bill 31. The bill, in coordination with Senate Bill 8, would give farmers protection against faulty equipment while under warranty, very similar to lemon laws for automobiles. From local news to what's going on around the state, Civic Media's mission is to bring you real news and great conversation. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
The Brewers try to get over 500. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kuska filling in for Mike Clemens. After taking 2 of 3 games from the Houston Astros this week to get back to 500, the Brewers are taking on the Tampa Bay Rays for a 3-game set this weekend. The Rays are currently on a 3-game losing streak and sit 5 games below 500. Milwaukee is 3 games back in the NL Central. Lower-seeded teams in the WIAC Baseball Championship won both games yesterday as Platteville and Oshkosh advanced. They'll square off today. Lacrosse and host Whitewater play in an elimination game to start things off today. One of those 4 schools will be crowned conference champion tomorrow afternoon at the end of the double elimination tournament. The NFL is announcing its schedule next Wednesday in full, but the league announced that it will release select games on its broadcast partners. Several games will be announced between CBS, Fox, NBC, and ESPN, as well as streaming platforms Amazon Prime and Netflix on Monday and Tuesday. The full schedule will then be announced Wednesday at 7 p.m. on the NFL Network. Filling in for Mike Clemens, I'm Jimmy Kuska with Civic Media Sports.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. A slight shower chance tonight, otherwise partly cloudy and a low within a degree or 2 of 50. Mostly sunny and pleasant tomorrow, highs upper 60s to near 70. And sun continues for Sunday, high mid 70s. Staying dry into early next week. It's 71 right now.
Maggie Dawn.
Coming up on the Maggie Dawn Show, Maggie and guest co-host Matt Rothschild follow up on the shocking habeas corpus news. Plus, Wisconsin lawmakers just got a child care funding. Find out what comes next for families.
The Maggie Dawn Show, weekdays 4 till 6.
Carmelo Anthony for the Bail Project.
Bad news, you've been arrested. Good news, you're innocent until proven guilty. If you can pay your bail, good news, you go home to wait your trial. If you can't, sorry, you go to jail to wait. But sure, you still presume innocent. But since you can't afford bail, you've lost your freedom. That's not right. And that's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Matt Nair on air.
Corinne Hendrickson, she owns a daycare center.
Between 2010 and 2019, 6,000 childcare programs closed. When COVID hit, they were like, we can't do this again. So they invested in us. And now our state is going to be one of 6. They took the federal dollars, but our state does 0. You're looking at 25% closing. I am likely going to be one of them.
This would be good to know if you would like to perhaps call your representative.
Catch Matt Nair on air at its new time. Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now a guy who doesn't believe in sex after marriage, Pete Schwaba.
Damn right. Welcome back, everybody. This is Pete Schwaba. I am your host, Conrad Krieger, the kid riding shotgun. He actually is a kid, though. This isn't like the Pope is 69 and 20 years younger than all of his colleagues. I could call you kid, and it kind of applies.
Yeah, so, I agree.
Welcome back. Intermission is over. It is time for the second act of Night Light. We had a great time in hour number 1 talking with our pal Stuart J. Waddles, who is still here with us. We'll get back to Stuart in just a second. But our question of the night, folks, is who would you want to have a sleepover with? It is international or national. I don't want to misspeak, especially not with a newsman on the line, but it's some type of sleepover day. They're celebrating sleepovers. And our question of the night is, who do you want to have a sleepover with? So we'll read your text in just a bit. It is also a bar band Friday night, folks. And Terry Barr, co-host of Max Inc. Radio, will be here at 7:35. She brings new music every week. Tonight's artist is spectacular. You have to stick around and listen to this. We've got 2 songs. One of them is for Mother's Day. It's just a real, talking about things earlier on Bluey that kind of make you tear up. This song is beautiful. And the first song is really kick-ass too. So we will talk to Terry about her artist she is bringing us tonight. And the music is outstanding. So you really don't want to miss that, especially heading into Mother's Day. So we'll do that, and we'll find out what our guests' plans for Mother's Day are as well. He's a great dad, and he heads up our news team in Southeast Wisconsin, down there in Kenosha and Milwaukee and Kenosha. He said Kenosha. It's like Fletch saying, I'll have a Bloody Mary and a steak sandwich and a steak sandwich. I meant to say Racine, Stuart.
Country and Western.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen the Pope and Blues Brothers stuff too, which was kind of funny. So
we're on a mission from God.
Now we really are. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, mission from God.
That's funny. Great too. Do you have big plans for Mother's Day? You seem like a great dad. I'm sure you're a good husband too.
I try and do what I can. I got a little one turning 4 next week, so her party is going to be early on Mother's Day. Mom is allowing it.
No kidding. You have a 4-year-old?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's did you get a late? You're what, in your early 70s?
Yeah, I'm Pope adjacent.
Pope adjacent.
Pope adjacent. Mid to upper 40s, somewhere in there, I think.
Yeah, I don't mean to get
I got a little late start, sure.
I'm not. I should. It was an unwarranted question. I'm sorry I went there, but seriously.
No bones about that.
All right, good.
Yeah, she's a delight.
How much do you make a year? Let's all right, let's get to
How big a boy are you?
That is right up there with your Glenn Fry line a couple visits ago, which is just gorgeous.
You were talking about dancing, right? It was
yeah. I said I was slow dancing with a girl in high school who I had a big crush on, and it was this magical moment. I even realized it was a magical moment. Like, it took a mental snapshot, and we're dancing, and this Glenn Fry song is playing, and Stuart says, "Smuggler's Blues." Gorgeous moment.
Romance.
Exactly. Let's create another awesome moment here and play a clip. Let's do the floss one first, Conrad. I love the energy of this. This is an episode of Bluey that Stuart turned me on to. If you have young kids, I'm sure you know about the show. If you don't, find the show. It's great. Here in this episode, the kids are teaching their grandparents how to floss, and the grandparents are finally getting the hang of it.
Oh, hello, Bluey.
Nana, we're going to learn how to floss.
Oh, okay. Let me get my glasses.
The arms go like this.
All right.
The arms go up.
Yeah, no, not like that. More like this with your arms.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Just do this with your hips.
They go like this. Oh, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
You're doing it, Nana. You're doing it, Nana. Bingo, look at this.
Look at this, Bingo.
Granny's the floor. Yeah, I was wrong. I knew it. Thanks, Bluey.
So great. I mean, that's a visual thing too, but the energy of it totally comes across even on the radio. It's awesome.
It's just the kids, the talent of the kids who are reading the lines, and that's, I guess, part of the interesting technical end of things. So this show started in 2018. Obviously, those kids have grown up. There's some speculation online that the voices are AI at this point.
Oh,
I don't know
really?
if that's true or not, but it kind of leads you to believe that maybe, I don't know, could they be? Possibly, maybe. They're really secretive about the back end of that show.
It's just absolutely great. How long is that other clip, Con?
The other one's 40 seconds. Also,
Let's do that. It's a short one.
I
Yeah,
did
go
want to
ahead.
say, flossing is a dance move. It's not.
Yeah. Yes.
And I believe it's pronounced flouse.
Flouse.
Seriously?
Flouse. Yeah, flousing. Yeah, flouse.
I had no idea. But I thought people, thank you for because they're not
Oh, yeah,
teaching
sure.
their grandparents how to
That would be hilarious, though. If they're
Use
teaching
a-
their grandparents how to actually floss, you know.
just use a water pick. But let's hear the other clip.
It's a bit of tough love, that's all. All she needs to do is not put her thumb in her mouth. It's easy. Chips? Nah, I'm off the chips. Trying to eat healthy.
Good on you.
Well, one won't hurt.
Aunt Trixie, can you please take Muffin's cone off?
Well, if I take it off, the first thing she'll do is suck her thumb.
She won't. She promises. Don't you, Muffin? See? Please, Aunt Trixie.
Yeah, please, Aunt Trixie. Okay.
Hooray! Thank you, Aunt Trixie. We promise Muffin won't suck her thumb even once. Muffin!
So cute. And what's great about it is like they're dogs, right? And I don't know if people have seen this. They're dogs, and so when they're happy on the screen, their tails start wagging before they emote through their voices and like the rest of their body. Like it's really true to the canine world.
I just love it. It's got the music is amazing. The voices are adorable. And the kids aren't jerks. Like sometimes on kid shows, the kids say bratty or snarky stuff. These kids, I watched
like
one
that
episode.
Peppa Pig. She can go right to no Peppa Pig in this house. She's rude.
I think we struck a nerve with Stuart there, Conrad.
Yeah, well, there's some kids programming it's a very low bar to do something good, and this show is not just like a good show. It's, I think, one of the best television programs ever made.
It's
I'm putting
fantastic.
it up there.
If this is, am I all right? I don't want to get too dramatic, but I like this show so much. Would it be weird if I left my wife, remarried, and had kids with someone else just so I could watch Bluey with my new set of kids?
I don't think it'd be that weird. I've heard a weirder.
You
Make a
have?
great story. Maybe that's next year's award.
You get the exclusive.
Just telling the tale of Pete Schwaba.
Yeah, I'm a walking
And
story
for best continuing coverage,
for most families following kid shows.
weirdest news story of the year.
Oh, that's so great. Hey, what else?
Some of the best episodes are when the kids are acting like grannies. There's a couple of them. There's one where they're on a bus acting like grannies, but there's another one later, I think in like the third season, where they're grannies pretending to be grannies, interacting with a real granny, and it just gets really weird and awesome.
Was the one where they're driving the car in the backyard? It's like a toy car. I think they were acting like old people then, and they ran over the dad, and the dad comes down like, "Did you see something?" Like they had no idea.
Well, and they got, so there's one or two episodes that Disney do not air because of the content, and then I've found those out online, and we've watched those a long time ago. One has to do with dad pretending to give birth, and I guess Disney has a problem with it, but it's really, it's hilarious and intense, and they bring the neighbor into it, and the neighbor's great because he just plays along. There's always nonsense going on, and this neighbor is just, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm hanging up my laundry, and this game starts, and I'll play along, and it's just, that's part of the fun part of that show.
What is the matter with people? people. That's great. I thought you were going to say there's like a Bluey After Dark or something.
No, there's just some content that there's another one having to do with a horse, and I don't remember what Disney's problem with it. Yeah, there's a couple of them that didn't make the American cut.
Well, I'll give them some credit for airing this show. It looks great. And what else do your kids like? Is there a close second for you as a dad?
It varies. It comes and goes. They're recently they're into the Muppet Babies, not like the Muppet Babies that were like the late '80s, early '90s Muppet Babies. They redid it, so that's good. They're in the Muppet world, and then I put on the old Muppet shows where I get to see John Denver and Anne Murray, and and who was the one the most Jonathan Winters. We watched a Jonathan Winters episode recently, and that guy I loved him when I was a kid, but looking back, it's like that guy was weird.
He was weird. I kind of forgot about that, but I do remember. But I loved when John Denver was on and Anne Murray. That's just a great show. What are you?
So they're asking me who was Animal the main character of the old ones? Like, not really. Animal was in the band, but he wasn't in. But he's gotten more popular recently. So it's fun going into the whole Muppet kingdom.
Animal was kind of like what Styx was to Happy Days when he would come on and play the drum. It was like the first person of color on the show. That's kind of like it's just a bit part for Animal, right? But he was a drummer.
I think looking back, I think that he was a breakout star. I think is what would happen. I think they put him on, and kids just liked him because he was an animal. He was crazy and chaotic, and kids liked that. And I think he kind of grew out of that. So he's actually one of the He's one of the core characters of the ensemble cast that is the most recent Muppet Baby incarnation.
Oh, that's awesome.
You got Fozzie in there. You got Kermit, of course.
Yeah. So before we let you go, Stuart, what do you watch? Like, let's say the kids are asleep. It's just you and the wife, or just you. What are you watching on TV after a long hard day?
Not much of anything. It's usually they go to bed, I go to bed, and I'm up. If there's any time for anything, maybe some Johnny Carson reruns. Watch wrestling every once in a while.
Okay.
Kind of keep me grounded.
You are like Clark Griswold. You are the last great family man. Your kids are going to bed. I would stay up because I like the quiet for an hour or two, but I've always applauded you for being a great dad and being able, or the guys that did this just can go to bed right away and don't need that downtime. So good for you.
Well, it's not like I have a choice. It's on the couch and I try and stay up and just say, I should go to bed.
Buddy, congrats again on the awards. Well deserved. Keep up the great work, and it's great having you on the show. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, it was good to talk to you. Thanks for having me on, Bud.
You got it. That's Stuart J. Waddles. Check out his work on WRJN or here on the network. He does all kinds of work here at Civic Media. You can check out his articles on the website, but just quality dude all the way around. Terry Barr will be here at the bottom of the hour. It is a bar band Friday night, and this music is so great. I can't wait. Let's read some text, Con. What do you think?
I think we should get to them.
I don't think we've read one text yet. The question of the night is, who do you want to have a sleepover with? It's National Sleepover Day. Our pal Lisa Hale, host of New Wisco Weekend, which you can hear on WGBW this weekend, twice, once on Saturday and once on Sunday. Great news magazine show. She says Kevin Smith. I'm not surprised.
He might smell a little bit, I feel like.
She also likes James Bond, but she went Kevin Smith. Okay. Mike on the social media says the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Now that's not fair. Come on.
Now that's with like 11 people.
Yeah. Who's springing for that pizza order? And then Daniel, of course, said, Jesus Christ. I don't know if I could relax under those circumstances, but okay. Jesus would be a great guy to talk to for sure. Probably got some opinions.
Yeah.
Or if you ran out of food, he could just replenish it. But fish.
I mean, you could.
That's a good sleepover.
You would never have water, though. You know.
Right. Always be wine. Well, that's good for kids. Matt Harper, rock rap artist. Our pal Matt Harper says Margot Robbie. Yes,
that would be a good one. Yeah.
I think Matt has other stuff in his mind than just watching movies and ordering pizza. Nikki Zerjev, our pal Nikki. How are you, Nikki? We miss you. She says comedian Kathleen Madigan. Beer, snacks, and a lot of laughs. No question. How about Nikki Zerjev? She'd be a blast at a sleepover, too.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody here would be. All right, we'll read some more texts when we come back, and we got a really funny Larry David clip. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite. It's a bar band Friday night, and it's right around the corner. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for the Maggie Dawn Show.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. There's been a whole lot happening in the political universe these last few months. Much of it has been rather discombobulating, you might say. From the first 100 days of the Trump administration to the high-stakes race for Wisconsin's Supreme Court and everything else that went into the spring election in Wisconsin, it's been a lot to wrap our heads around. But now we're entering a new phase on Wisconsin's political calendar. That's right, we're getting into budget season. The biennial budget is the biggest thing that happens in state politics every 2 years, and our elected officials in the Assembly and Senate are going to be making some important decisions in the very near future. Now is a great time to contact your representatives and let them know what you think our priorities should be for our next state budget. Because in a government by the people, participation is power, and your voice matters.
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area and on our website at civicmedia.us.
A suicide on a team is devastating and a real risk for veterans. If you or someone you know is struggling, taking action for mental health is a brave step. Reach out now at reachoutwis.org for local resources available to you and your loved ones.
Paid for by Advancing a Healthier Wisconsin Endowment with support by the Medical College of Wisconsin, the War Memorial Center, and reachoutwis.org.
Child abuse is not a bad parent problem.
And the causes may be different than you think.
You see, paid family leave
That prevents child abuse. And high quality, affordable childcare
prevents child abuse too.
Prevent Child Abuse America promotes programs and resources informed by science that help communities, parents, and kids thrive.
Because when we keep families out of crisis,
We prevent child abuse.
From ever happening.
Go to preventchildabuse.org to learn more.
Let's solve child abuse before it ever happens.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Teaching shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org, supported by the U.S. Department of Education and 1 million teachers of color.
Welcome back. I am Pete Schwaba, and this is Nite. Conrad Krieger is behind the board, doing a bang-up job. It is a bar band Friday night. Terry Barr will be here in moments with some just really, really good music tonight. Our question of the night is, who do you want to have a sleepover with? It is National Sleepover Day. We got to catch up on some texts here. On the stream, Dave says Snoop Dogg would be fun. He's our age and knows a lot about a lot.
Yeah, I think that you would get second high. You
You either get second high or you get busted. I don't know. I think he's kind of overexposed now. I always liked him a lot.
Yeah, I mean he's a really
He's everywhere though now. He's like Ryan Reynolds.
I like
everywhere.
those big commercials he did.
What was the
for the lighters?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he'd be swell. He'd be great at a sleepover. And Dave says Central Dance. Remember Sergeant Techmeyer? I do. I probably shouldn't have read his name on the. Still learning the radio rules. There was this cop at the dances, and he was like a real. He's like not Captain Kirk, but Officer Kirk on Happy Days. He was the one that always kept people in line at the Central Dances. Whenever there were fights or kids that were puking because they had too much to drink. Was drinking big when you were in high school?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yes. That's one demerit point for Conrad.
I didn't partake, you know?
I honestly didn't. I did not have a beer until I was spring of my freshman year in college. And that's the honest to God's truth.
You know, my brother's 7 years older than me. So he would say, I didn't do that in high school. I till this day, I still don't believe him.
Like he would say that just to keep you on the straight and narrow?
Well, it was a different conversation. But it was a different conversation. It was a conversation after I was in high school.
Oh, gotcha. What are you trying to tell me you're pregnant, Conrad? I don't know what it's kind of lost track.
I did. No, I am not pregnant.
All right, thank God. You can watch Bluey if you have kids.
Yeah.
Let's get to the text line. Listening on WMDX from the 814. Our pal Jameson checks in. He says, "Be like George Foreman. name every kid Pete versus where he named all his kids George. That's right. I think did I miss one from Jameson here? I don't want to miss a text.
That's the start?
That's the start. Okay. Tom from New Berlin says Cubs too. He's talking about the Pope being from Chicago. Apparently he's a Cubs fan. There's some debate whether he's a Cubs or a Sox fan in Chicago right now, I think.
I mean, the Cubs, he'd be better off with the Cubs.
Oh, I think so, but what do I know? They're both fine baseball clubs.
Well,
Tom also says Monopoly with Trump. He would be reminding me, been there, done that. I can't remember what we were talking about.
Nate Land.
Oh, of course. Nate Land. All right, Tom. We'll get a bus trip. We'll organize like a WGBW bus trip to Nate Land if it ever happens.
That sounds awesome.
Monica from Mount Horeb. She's listening on WMDX. She says comedians Miranda Hart and Sarah Milligan. Oh, she must be answering our question from last night, I think, right?
No,
sleepovers. Okay, I was thinking, comedians, of course. I'm completely. You know what? I can't stop thinking about Kung Pao shrimp, and I am so hungry right now. I apologize, Monica. Yeah, they would be great at a sleepover, I'm sure. And Monica has two girls sleeping over. You and me and Stuart could go over and be like the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Come on, let's drink some beers and French inhale. We'll do like a scene from Grease or something here. Jameson also from checks in again and says, question answer, either Nick Offerman, he will get me drunk on scotch, then use power tools to build a new decorative laundry supply hutch while yelling the best stories and caring about mine. Or Aubrey Plaza, also from Parks and Rec, because a man can dream. Wink. Go. Hey, Jameson, this is all pretend. You just fire away. Anybody you want is fine. And then Jameson says again, I'll add one more. You, Pete, it would be a blast. We show each other obscure movies, eat some food, probably act foolish, then likely fall asleep way too early. Jameson, that sounds like a blast. Can we bring Conrad? You're invited too.
Thank you.
The three of us will have a blast.
Thanks.
That would be fun. Carrie from Tosa says she's listening on WMDX. David Spade. It would be full of laughs and probably some mischievous shenanigans involved. I am sure it would be a fun night. I think Carrie has a little crush on David Spade.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy David Spade before he was too jaded, but he would be funny. That would be great. That's great, Carrie. Thank you. Tom from New Berlin says, Todd, that's like creating your own nickname.
Are we talking about Nick Land or Nate Land again?
Yeah, it probably is. But here's what Tom comments throughout the show. We need to be better about reading Tom's texts right when they come in, because honestly, we go on to another subject and I forget. So thank you, Tom. That's a great one. Steve from Florida says, happy Friday, son and Pete. That's Conrad's dad, for those of you scoring at home. My favorite detective growing up was Kojak. The classic line, who loves you, baby, as well as helping promote lollipop sales throughout the year. That's a great point, Steve. And why don't people? Like, a lollipop is a great dessert if you're trying to lose weight. There's hardly any calories. You get the sweet thing going.
Yeah, but it's too sticky.
Well, if you hold it with your hand on the non-stick part. Steve says, also, it would be fun to have a sleepover with my best friends growing up that I haven't seen in years, catching up on each other's lives. That is a great idea, Steve. Adult sleepover. Let's do it. Steve from Madison just said, Steve from Madison. I don't see a text. Do you, Conrad? Am I missing something? All right. Listening on WAUK, Jack from Merrimack. He's in the 414. He says, sleepover. How about with my wife? She's been at my stepdaughter's place for the last 2 weeks. I may be 80, but I'm not dead yet. Saturday's the night. Oh, Jack and his wife are going to have a round of lovemaking this Saturday night. That's what I'm reading there. Go for it. Jack, that's impressive at 80, man. Love it. He says, as far as a male, I'd like to spend an evening with Steve Martin. Yes. Great one. The darts bar scene in Roxanne is probably the best long comedy scene I've ever seen in a movie. Even if he didn't write it all, his timing was absolutely perfect. He's brilliant, and I think it would be just an amazing conversation. Very well done. Thank you, Jack from Merrimack. Thank you for all your texts. Keep them coming if you like. Terry Barr is coming up next. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for the Todd Allball Show.
This is your local civic media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packard. The Trump administration considering suspending habeas corpus for undocumented immigrants, denying them their day in court. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller.
The Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the supreme law of the land, that the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at.
A federal judge ordering the release of a Tufts University student from Turkey. Trump administration officials say Ramisa Öztürk lost her right to remain in the U.S. when she co-wrote an op-ed in her student newspaper urging Tufts to divest from firms with ties to Israel. Her jailing an egregious First Amendment violation, says the judge. Trade talks begin tomorrow in Geneva between the U.S. and China. The president's 145% tariffs on China have not as yet been met with any concessions. Another Newark Airport radar outage today. Controller screens went dark while talking to a FedEx flight. The FAA says they're looking into it. This is ABC News.
The Brewers try to get over 500. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kuska filling in for Mike Clemens. After taking 2 of 3 games from the Houston Astros this week to get back to 500, the Brewers are taking on the Tampa Bay Rays for a 3-game set this weekend.
Hey, Terry, just want to test your audio quick.
Yes, please, please, please let me know if it sounds all right.
Yeah, sounds great.
Good. Yay. Oh, thank you, God.
Yep. All right, we'll be back. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
Okay, super duper. Hey, let me know if you have any stories you need written.
Sounds good. Yes, I'll send them your way. Thank you.
Awesome.
It's between CBS, Fox, NBC, and ESPN, as well as streaming platforms Amazon Prime and Netflix on Monday and Tuesday. The full schedule will then be announced Wednesday at 7 p.m. on the NFL Network. Filling in for Mike Clemens, I'm Jimmy Kuska with Civic Media Sports.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. A new book about the show Better Call Saul reveals an interesting journey for the character of Saul Goodman. The character was first introduced on Breaking Bad before receiving its own spin-off, Better Call Saul. The role elevated actor Bob Odenkirk's career to a new level, although he probably would have gotten there anyway. The book, Saul Goodman v. Jimmy McGill, the complete critical companion to Better Call Saul, reveals that AMC wanted producers of Breaking Bad to scrap the Saul Goodman character altogether, but the producers stuck to their guns. Saul first appears in season 2 of Breaking Bad, but before he went by that moniker, he was Jimmy McGill, as we learned in the prequel, Better Call Saul. Also a fun fact, the Saul Goodman character was almost played by actor Michael McKean, who played Jimmy McGill's older brother Chuck, also a lawyer on Better Call Saul. I realize this only makes sense if you are a fan of both shows. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. A slight shower chance tonight, otherwise partly cloudy and a low within a degree or 2 of 50. Mostly sunny and pleasant tomorrow, highs upper 60s to near 70. And sun continues for Sunday, high mid 70s. Staying dry into early next week. It's 71 right now.
Mino and the Mayor.
Well, I want to do something where I can really show off my thighs. I'm gonna load them down with beeswax or bees pollen. I really am. Theirs are gonna glue. You talk about effervescent. What does that mean, John? Glowing.
Does it?
Glowing. It means glowing.
I thought that was what you get when you pop like Alka-Seltzer in a jar.
Well, there's different types of effervescence. Oh, gee. There's different levels.
Mino and the Mayor, weekday mornings 6 till 9 on 97.9 WGBW and 98.3 and 96.5 WISS.
Yo, I'm your old basketball. Haven't seen you out on the courts in a while. Why not pass me over to Goodwill? Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. And that's a slam dunk. Donate today. Hey, I got next.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, please visit goodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
John Mino and Jim Schmidt.
On Monday's show, we'll welcome Kristen Ambos with
Time to check out original music with Bar Band Friday on Nightlight. Now, your host, Pete Schwaba, and special guest, Terry Barr.
Welcome back. This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, and I am very excited for this. I'm excited every Friday because we love hanging out with Terry. She brings amazing music. But I will say this weekend, Terry, or this night, you've outdone yourself. These songs are outstanding. I love this. I'll let you introduce her and do all that stuff. But you've outdone yourself. Outstanding. How are you tonight?
How about that?
Yeah.
I can't tell her you said this. Oh my
She's
goodness.
excellent. And I would love to say I'll get her on the show, but as I understand it, she lives in my old hood, which is way out west. So
She does.
might not happen.
Tell
us everything.
Everything is great. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, about our artist, or start with yourself. That's fine. But let's get into it and start wherever you like, my friend.
All right. Well, our artist is Madison Malone. I have been following her career since she was in college. Right after college, she went to UW-Madison, grew up in Portage in central Wisconsin. Portage, of course, is known for having a great music department. And I think she can stand up and say, yep, I'm a product of that Portage music department.
Yeah.
And she is doing it proud for them. She left Wisconsin right after college. She's now been in LA 10 years.
Wow.
And Pete, she's doing it. She is putting out music constantly and recently signed a new deal with Sync. And Sync is one of the biggest houses where you go as a movie maker or a TV show maker and find music to go with your show or your movie. And she is thrilled.
I saw that. I was just looking at her website. She's had music on General Hospital. She's written for Celine Dion. That's incredible. And she's only been out there. So she's still young. I mean, she's been out there. She's probably in her early 30s.
Yeah.
And all these credits are great, but where does she play, Terry? Does she tour?
She tries to.
Okay.
Here's the other part that is so fascinating about this story. She just had a baby not too long ago, and that has become number one to her. And I think that's where this Sync agreement is really important because she doesn't have to be working on music constantly, even though she is working on a brand new album right now. But that Sync music, if that can get into any films or shows, that can be a good little chunk of change that just kind of holds down the bills and pays for everything while you take care of your child and maybe write some new songs for an album. She's now married. She has a wife. We talked about this too, because she said Mother's Day is different. You know, it's not like the tradition she had growing up where the entire family, including mom and dad, would celebrate mom. It's now the moms celebrate each other.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, one of the songs you brought of Madison's, it celebrates Mother's Day. And it's really just an absolutely beautiful song. And the other one's a little more of a grinder kind of kick-ass song, but they're both great. Why don't we play one now so we don't run out of time and we can talk about it? Should we play Piece of Art first?
Yeah, this one is, as you said, quite the kick butt song.
Yeah.
And I think it shows her range. She can do a little bit of everything. She is mainly the keyboard player, but she's been out there long enough that she knows enough people to pull together an orchestra, other musicians, whatever she needs to make this happen.
Okay, this is fantastic. All right, you're in for a treat, folks. Terry Barr is here. It's Bar Band Friday night here on Nightlight. This is Madison Malone, a product of Wisconsin who has been living in LA the last few years and having tremendous success. Here is her song, Piece of Art, by way of Terry Barr.
I'm a piece of art, every bone and every part. I'm a leader, I'm a mother, I'm a fighter, I'm a teacher, I'm a goddess. I am not gonna be modest, I am Venus, Aphrodite. lady, I'm a lover, I am mighty, I'm a preacher, I'm a priest, you can worship on your knees. Oh, I'm a piece of art, every bone and every part. Been lining up in every major city, paying cash to see statues with the same body as me. I don't know about you, but that feels like I just won the lottery, baby. I'm a piece of art, every bone and every part. I'm a leader, I'm a mother, I'm a an idol, I'm a teacher, I'm a goddess. I am not gonna be modest. I am Venus, Aphrodite. I'm a lover, I am mighty. I'm a preacher, I'm a priest. You can worship on your knees. I'm a piece of art, every bone and every part. Yeah, I'm a piece of art, every bone and every part. I see brand new skin and new folds. I'm happy I'm alive to experience those. Yeah, I made hands and tiny feet. My body grew so that we could meet. I'm a teacher, I'm a goddess. I am not gonna be modest. I am Venus, Aphrodite. I'm a lover, I am mighty. I'm a preacher, I'm a priest. You can worship on your knees. Oh, I'm a piece of art, every bone and every part. Yeah, I'm a piece of art, every bone and every part.
Wow. She just, I love how she, I heard a little bit of Blondie in there. When she
Ooh, I
sings, I'm
like
a
that.
piece of art, cover me with kisses, it kind of like segues and then it, at the last second steers away. It's great. What a great song.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is, Terry, she's just so open on her website. Madison is a proud pansexual, bilingual songstress who works toward bringing love, comfort, and nostalgia to your ears. And then later in the paragraph, it says Madison is working on releasing an album about queerness, motherhood, and heartbreaks that still ache. Her music has been picked up by Spotify's editorial playlist, continuing her outreach to listeners everywhere. She has no shortage of things to write songs about, does she?
No. No. And even for the Sync project that she earned so that she can get songs into TV shows and movies, they were supposed to write 5 new songs as examples of different emotions. She wrote 15.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I don't know how that flows out of someone so easily, and I'm so glad.
Yeah. So how do you know her? You said you've interviewed her several times over the years, but she's been gone for so long since college. I mean, I'm sure she comes back at some point. But how did you line up an interview? Did you have her play on Max Inc.?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
I've had her play on wherever I happen to be working. Whenever she was back in town, we've stayed in touch. I just think she is one of those souls you just don't ever want to lose in your life
Yeah.
because of everything she is. But I met her when she was in college and just really started on this musical journey. And that's the first time I interviewed her. And I'm so happy that we've been able to do, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 interviews since that time.
Now, how does that work with she's doing this sync, and I get that's probably where the money is. Now she's got a baby. You got to think about that stuff. But how do you not tour with songs like she? I mean,
Yeah.
is that a balance she's trying to find out? I would love to go see her live.
Oh, I know. I know. I had a friend that also lived in LA. And when he was about to leave, he said, Terry, I know you know some musicians. I really need to feed myself some great music out here. And she happened to have a show and he went, he loved it. But then 2 weeks later, he moved back to Wisconsin.
Oh,
So,
man.
yeah. I hope after she puts this new album out, I hope she gets back out there. And I think her plan is to do that this summer. So I'm going to bug her. I will let you know. And
Please.
hopefully she'll be back in Wisconsin to treat all of us.
Well, let's do this. Let's play that other song. This is a great song. It's called Bravo, right? And it's for moms, I guess, on Mother's Day. We're heading into
She
Mother's
wrote
Day
it. When
weekend.
you listen to the words, you can hear about the experience about to have her son and all the emotions. But then she also ties it to her own mother. And that's where I got to talk to Madison a little bit this week. She's home in Wisconsin visiting family.
She's home here. Is she on your show tomorrow night?
Yes, sir.
I usually ask you that by now, but I haven't.
That's
So,
okay.
all right.
I love that you are so into this music.
I love it. All right, let's hear. This is Bravo. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. If you're listening, this is for you from Madison Malone and Terry Barr.
We gave you a name in April. We picked out a crib in July. You came to our arms in the autumn. Now we'll hold you for the rest of our lives. Mama will make us big dinners. We'll sit down with all those we love. Stay up till 2 in the morning, saying this is what it's all about. Baby, it's new and exciting, and you're not alone when you're crying. Learning about you's the most honest work that we'll do. We walked you to school in the new year. Didn't want to let go of your hand. As soon as you saw the playground, you ran off and you quickly made friends. Oh baby, it's new and exciting, and you're not alone when you're crying. Learning about you is the most honest work that we'll ever do. We'll watch as you grow up with new loves and breakups. We'll be living through every day, and we'll know it's all worth it. The no sleep and the time spent. I won't wish a minute away. When the time comes that you move out, we'll stand on the front steps and cry, remembering when you first came home. Oh, we'll love you for the rest of our lives. Yeah, we'll love you for the rest of our lives. Oh, we'll love you for the rest of our lives.
The baby. All right. Those aren't tears. I'm cutting onions. That was Madison Malone and Bravo. We got to do a quick break. We're coming right back to talk about it with Terry Barr. Beautiful song.
As Wisconsin has a fish fry on a Friday night, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
We believe your stories matter because here at WGBW, your stories are our stories too. Our award-winning news team of Lisa Hale, Brittany Merlot, and Terry Barr cover the issues that affect your life every day, the stories that shape your world. You'll hear it on the air, read it online, and see it on social media, wherever you are. Real news, great conversation, 97.9 WGBW, connected to you and your community.
Timeout. All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
When we got our home appraised, we felt robbed. Compared to a similar home right around the corner, our appraisal was $80,000 less.
Latino and Black homeowners are about twice as likely as white homeowners to get low appraisals. If you believe your home has been unfairly appraised because of race or national origin, contact HUD at hud.gov/fair housing. That's hud.gov/fair housing. Everyone has a right to fair housing. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Matt Nair on air.
Corinne Hendrickson, she owns a daycare center.
We're doing this day without childcare. What we do is we talk about what would happen, what would it look like if we didn't have childcare. But we also talk about what could it be? What can we do to change the system? I love all the protests. I love all the people speaking out against things, but we also need to participate in democracy by saying what we want and what we need and talk to our reps that way. So that's what this event is all about.
Catch Matt Nair on air at its new time, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on Civic Media and the Civic Media app.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check that off.
You've got this.
Yes, you do. See how we've got you at yougotthis.usaging.org. A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging.
You are listening to your local Civic Media radio station on air. Thank you. Did you know we are always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app too? And if you miss a show or game, find it wherever you get your podcasts or on our website, Civic Media.
Stretch here tonight on a Friday night on a beautiful, stunningly gorgeous night here in the state of Wisconsin, all over the state. It's absolutely beautiful tonight. So after you're done listening to this show, folks, get out, get some fresh air, and then immediately go back in and watch TV because that's what we're here for. This is a bar band Friday night. Real quick, if I could just plug this, Matt Miller will be here. We're going to talk about the wrapping up of the Milwaukee Film Festival, some summer blockbuster talk, and then Chastity Washington, Milwaukee comedian, will be here Monday night as well on 6:35. So we hope to have you back for that. Right now, we've got a few more minutes with our pal Terry Barr. And Madison Malone is the artist you brought here tonight. Just really outstanding stuff, Terry. You've outdone yourself, and it sounds like a great episode tomorrow night of Max Inc. with Madison in studio.
Absolutely. And I should also tell you, my co-host Rocker, he won a Wall of Honor award from the Wisconsin area music industry last Sunday. It was
wow.
a surprise, but he found out about it. I don't know how it leaked out, but he's still thrilled. It is one of those rare awards given to people who have really supported the music scene across the state. And I'm so honored to work with him and to call him my friend.
I mean, you guys need to build like a trophy case in the studio there. And honest to God, between Max Inc. Radio and all the features you do for Civic Media and now this award with Rocker, that's incredible. Congrats. And congrats to Rocker. You're going to clean up at the whammies again,
we love
too.
It, right, Pete?
I know. No, and that comes across. You guys are so passionate about what you do. Your show is great. And I absolutely treasure this segment every week because I have learned more about new music since I've been doing the show because you come on every Friday night, and that's how I find new music. And it's great that I find new music that's Wisconsin based most of the time. You know, it's
Yeah,
great.
well, and Madison still calls Wisconsin home,
Yeah.
and as you can guess, she's on everything. You can find her and listen on Spotify, all the streaming. She's got some great music videos on her website, on YouTube.
Okay.
Check her out and follow her, and then when she does have a show, Pete, let's go.
Absolutely. It's MadisonMaloneMusic.com. Check her out. I'm going to be watching some of these videos after I go home and chill out a little later. It's going to be fun. And have a great show tomorrow night.
You.
We'll be listening and give Rocker our best. And you guys just do what you do. Have a great show and enjoy Madison Malone. And thank you for sharing her with us tonight.
Oh, it is such a pleasure, Pete. Happy weekend to all, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
Thanks, Terry. Have a great weekend. All right. That's Terry Barr. Check out Max Inc. Radio tomorrow night. And Madison Malone. This is, she's up there. PJ on the stream, by the way, says, good singer, but that could put me to sleep. Well, I think it is kind of a lullaby, PJ. I mean, it's a great, her voice is like captivating. And, but I could see that. I don't think you'd necessarily mean that in a bad way. It's like a lullaby. Right, Con? Wake up. Conrad. Okay. Conrad's already got one foot out the door for Mother's Day. What are you going to do for your mom? You got some, I know she doesn't live here, but you got something planned?
I'm going to call her.
Oh, how nice. How special.
You know, I'll just say it here.
I'll
just say it here so I don't call her on Sunday. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. You heard it here on Friday. So it's documented.
Nice. Conrad just saved himself a phone call. What a guy. No, I know. I know you're a good son. And do we have time for that Larry David clip?
Yes, we do.
All right. But can I set it up or are we going to run out of time there? How long is the clip?
You know what? We should keep it.
Let's keep it. It's a great clip.
We'd kind of rush it. It's funny.
All right.
We need to set it up.
I'm going to read a couple texts we have here that just came in, and I want to close the show with that song Bravo again because it's a great show for the moms. But we do have a couple texts here I need to get to before we get out of here, and that is 608. It says best detective, and this is Dave from the 608 listening at WMDX, I assume. Yeah, WMDX. He says best detective is Kate Beckett from the show Castle, which I have not seen.
I haven't seen that show either.
I've heard nothing but good stuff, but this is what I love about when you find a show. Now I've got I don't even know how many seasons are, 7 seasons of a show. Hopefully I'll really like. That's awesome. Thank you, Dave. And then Bridget from the 818, she says, my children, I miss them. This is for the sleepover question, unless Bridget's kids are great detectives. She says, my children, I miss them. Also, Michelle Obama. She's been giving great advice lately about life. Oh, Michelle Obama at a sleepover. That's Michelle Obama would be fun to talk to, but I don't know if I want to be getting life advice at a sleepover.
She also wouldn't bring the best food, I don't think,
She'd bring healthy snacks. People chastised her for that. And then now they get in and they're talking about, Kennedy's talking about taking a red diet. It's like, wait, she tried to do that and you guys hated her.
Yeah.
But, to each his own. And your children, Bridget. So we're going to go out. We're going to play the song Bravo again. And this was written for Mother's Day, for mothers. And Madison wrote this for her child. And this is a great way to close the show. So we'll go out on that tonight. We hope to see you Monday. Matt Miller will be here. Chastity Washington will be here. Thank you for all of your texts, folks. Thank you to Stuart J. Waddles. I almost said Stuart J. Littles. That doesn't make sense. Stuart J. Waddles, our pal, and of course, Terry Barr for Bar Band Friday Night. She brings it every week, and she crushed it this week, maybe even more so.
Yeah. My mom texted me saying, thanks. Still want to hear from you.
You're not getting off that easy. All right. Happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Krieger. See, I did that. I guess I can call her Paula. So I kind of outdid you because I did it. You still got to call her, dude. I'll call your mom too. We'll have a nice talk. We'll have a nice talk about you. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. We will see you back here on Monday. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba. Here is Madison Malone taking us out. Good night, Wisconsin.
Down with all those we love. Stay up till 2 in the morning. Saying this is what it's all about. Baby, it's new and exciting, and you're not alone when you cry. Learning about We walked you to school in the new year. Didn't want to let go of your hand. As soon as you saw